Let's be real, Nintendo hasn't always been the best at naming their consoles. As great as they are, you've got the Wii and the Wii U. They're not the best of names, and to do you one better, the Wii U's name was so bad that it ended up making the entire console fail, and that's a major shame because the Wii U was a fantastic console. Could the same thing happen again for the console coming after the Nintendo Switch? Now, Nintendo has kind of painted themselves into a corner here, because how do you top the Switch? It's something that even I can't even figure out myself. It's really easy to come up with fan theories and fan ideas for the next big thing for a company to do, but for me personally, I have absolutely no idea what Nintendo can do to top the Switch. And I'm not saying that the Switch is the greatest console of all time or anything like that, but as a company who likes creating consoles that are just so different and so innovative and just so new in concept, that I think that's the term I will use here. How do you go from the Switch to the next one? Let's think about this. They can't really go to a traditional console after this, basically like a normal handheld or a normal home console, for one of two reasons. Number one, because they've already done that in the past when they first started, and then they eased their way into more interesting territory, like with the Wii. So they've already done that, and by doing that, it will get compared to those. And two, their competitors are already doing this. You've already got the PlayStation, which, don't get me wrong, they have some new features like with the controllers and things like that, but in terms of the consoles themselves, they're still pretty standard and pretty normal when it comes to presentation, hardware, etc. Nintendo can't really do that, but at the same time, we don't want another Wii U situation. Even though that the Wii and the Wii U on traditional consoles, the fact that the Wii U was so similar to the Wii in a lot of areas, it caused that system to fail. Number one, the name. I mean, that straight off the bat, come on, you added one letter at the end of Wii and you expected people to not think that it was the same console. Number two, the Wiimotes worked with it, so that's even more confusing. Three, the console itself looked exactly like the original Wii. I mean, I could list some more reasons. In this case though, it would be pretty bad if they still kept the Switch term in the title of the next console, right? How confusing would that be? At least with the Wii U, it tried to present itself as a sequel, but with something like Nintendo Switch Attach, that literally sounds like an accessory. That literally sounds like an accessory, something that you attach your Nintendo Switch to. How in any way is that catchy, and how in any way is that clear to not only gamers like myself, but even casual consumers as well? Nintendo has quite the hurdle to overcome in order to succeed the Nintendo Switch. Not only do they have to beat the Switch in terms of money, they also have to beat the Switch in terms of idea. That's not an easy thing to do. But do you know what is an easy thing to do? Subscribing to the channel and turning on the bell notification if you haven't done so already. You see what I did there? Basically, if you love Nintendo, you would absolutely love this channel. We tend to cover it quite a lot here. So make sure that you hit that big red subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so that you don't miss a single one of my videos. Thanks. Unfortunately, Nintendo just doesn't have the luxury to be traditional, and they don't have the luxury to double down on ideas. It works with the 3DS. I think more so because it was a handheld, but also it had a gimmick that made it stand out in comparison to the DS. Although that's also true with the Wii U, it wasn't different enough, and also they didn't make that idea clear enough. Hence why it failed. Now, with something like the Nintendo Switch now, that is a very distinct and gimmicky idea, let's be real. So you creating a console with a name that's similar is not really going to help that case. Because not only is that going to confuse people, it's confusing people like me already, but then you also have to deal with, okay, what is this attachment idea going to do now? Like, the idea of infinitely customizing your console, it sounds cool, but at the same time, will this be overcomplicated for casual consumers? Now, to be honest, it is Nintendo. They are going to find a way to simplify this and to make this accessible to all people. I have no doubt about that. But at the same time, and the bottom line, will this be too complicated from a concept perspective? Yes, they might present it in a simple way, but are they going to market it correctly? And are regular consumers going to be able to handle something like this? Now, in terms of marketing, I have no doubt in my mind that Nintendo is going to do a much better job compared to the Wii U. I mean, I think they did a fantastic job with the Nintendo Switch, so I don't see why they would change things up there. And also, I don't think we'll have a shovelware issue like we had with the Wii and the Wii U, because the Switch's third-party support has been really solid. We're even getting games that are available on PS5, Xbox and Steam sometimes, so that's pretty cool as well. Of course, you've got like which version is better, but bottom line, in terms of selection of third-party games, we're pretty sorted on the Nintendo Switch. So Nintendo has quite the hefty challenge ahead of them. They have to not be traditional and be completely different from the rest of their competition. In other words, continue what they've been doing for years, but at the same time, they can't repeat any ideas, or if they do, it needs to be distinct enough from the original version. So in this case, with the Nintendo Switch, if you are going to bring back the Switch gimmick, the console needs to be different enough from the Switch to allow people to go, I actually want to buy this. When you look at the next console, the consumers want to buy it. They want to make that jump. With the Switch now making the jump to the next console, I don't know how Nintendo's gonna do that. They can still do it. I believe in them. They've done it many times before, but Nintendo, have fun coming up with some ideas. Genuinely, I'm excited to see what they come up with. It will be a very interesting time, but I swear, Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch Attach, put those names in the bin.